Well, welcome to a new edition of Harry's Farm. Slightly sad day today, I'm afraid. We're down with the alpacas. These are the boy alpacas. We have two sets of alpacas. We keep the girls and the boys separate for obvious reasons. And these are the boys, and they have the paddock down by the house. And yesterday, just noticed one of them lying down away from the herd, the giveaway that something's not quite right. And it was Cuthbert, who was the main stud male when we first got the alpacas. We first got them in 2004, so we've had them quite a while. He was 5 years old then, so 15 years we've had him here. 5 years when he owned, so he was 20. So yeah, a reasonable age for an alpaca. Yesterday he went down. We covered up, tried to keep him warm, get extra food into him, but it's just old age, and he died overnight. So I've just put him in the back of the Series 1, and fallen stock like this, we're very reliant on the local hunt. They take in the fallen stock, as it's termed, and you pay £50 and they dispose of them. So it's just a service for local livestock owners in the vicinity of a local hunt to dispose of your dead stock. Just say about the alpacas, we got them really just for around the home paddock. I really like them as animals. I've had cattle, sheep, etc. Alpaca, I get slightly teased by my farmer friends having them. They're I term them as garden ornaments. I just like them as an animal. This is Barney. He's quite tame because as a cria he unfortunately lost an eye. We didn't own him at that stage. We bought him when he was about a year old, and he's really quite a tame alpaca because he's been hand reared and he's a bit blind, so he always has to have a closer look. Anyone who's not used to alpacas, they get slightly terrified because he always comes bounding up to you, but only because he's sort of short-sighted and wants to have a closer look. So he's a real family favourite, and he just brings the others with them. I like them because they can just live outside. You can put a field shelter up and they're not particularly interested. I mean, they've come from the Andes originally, and a British winter doesn't seem to test them at all. And they also like cameras. So yes, most of these are home reared, and they live a while. These give me the eye. You have llamas as well. Llamas are much bigger and have a bit of a reputation for spitting and just being a bit angry. I much prefer alpacas. They're smaller, gentler animals, more inquisitive, and just nice to have around. I'm going to take it up to the hunt. It's 15-mile drive from here. Go and do that, and then we'll go for a tour around the farm and see what else has been happening on Harry's farm. I've come over to have a look at the first wheat, which is not on the home farm, this other block here, and it's great. It looks like a normal field of winter wheat. A first wheat, as I explained earlier, is the wheat you plant after a break crop, be that oilseed rape or in our case winter linseed. Could be peas, it could be beans, and this is the one that you normally get your highest yield from, so it's your most precious crop on the farm really. And we have rows. This was all rolled just before, planted 31st of October, 20th of December today, so it's been in the ground sort of 7 weeks, isn't it? November and a bit of December, and it looks good. It's all coming up. I wouldn't expect any more growth than this at this time of year. They will start to tiller out, so you get single shoot come up and then another tiller come in here, another leaf. I'm looking to see if I can see any herbicide. You probably can't see unless you're close up. You can see there's a weed there, and it's sort of dying off. It's taken up the herbicide. It's got zapped as it came through the soil, so that's a great sign. And basically, it looks weed free. So with the winter wheat, this is done deal. We've planted it 31st of October, say, sprayed it a few days later, and we won't really be back in here until March time, putting the first fertiliser on or something like that. I'll just say it is very windy today. We're going to fight the conditions to get this report out, but if there's a bit of wind noise, I apologise now. Let's go and have a look at the next door where the winter linseed is. Again, the winter linseed looking good here. The rows are all appearing. But what's really nice to see if you're farming it is you can see that we've sprayed the volunteers off. This was barley and grass. weeds sort of growing up, and you can see they're just dying off completely. You look down the row, has this yellowing effect, and the green rows of linseed are now really starting to show as the barley dies out, thanks to the herbicide we put on. Well, it was about middle September, so it's quite a long-acting herbicide to get the effect. But that's good, that's what you want to see. Right, let's get back to the home farm, see what's going on there. Okay, well, this is the problem winter wheat field. This is broad-stoned, and we've had this continuous rain. If you've been watching Harry's farm, you will know just how silly wet it's been this year. October and November were both 200%, well, over 200% of long-term average rainfall. It looks like December is going to do the same again. This is a wettish part of the field. I mean, we're right on the tops here. We're not in the valley where those bunds were, where you expect to find water. On the top, and there's standing water out here. And yet the wheat, I'm amazed how it's still trying to come up. You can see it here. I mean, it didn't go in very good conditions, but that wheat is still doing its best to grow, even though it's, look at it, it's underwater. It's madness at the moment. But I have lost, I would expect, this is only 14 acres, this field, so there's probably 5 or 6 acres that isn't going to be croppable in here. We did try and drill some more. I'm worried about this wind, whether you can actually hear me. We did try and drill some more. We've got about 10 acres over there that we put in of a 60 acre field and just gave up. So we have had a bit more. Maybe I ought to just go into a bit of shade and just show you that bit of field there. And here are the fields we haven't managed to drill this autumn, this winter, in winter wheat. And they're starting to look a bit sorry. It's so frustrating that we haven't managed to get any more winter wheat on the farm, because this is sort of the worst scenario, because we sprayed it off with Roundup in October, expecting to be able to continue to drill the winter wheat through. So we've actually ended up with bare stubbles over winter. And that's not what you want to do for soil health, because the worms and the microbes, they want a growing crop or sort of greenery to live on. And this sort of goes a bit sterile, all the nutrients sort of leach out the soil. So it's deeply frustrating as a farmer to end up with this sort of thing. Are we going to get any more winter wheat in this season? Well, I don't know. Certainly not for, we got until about February, absolute last knockings. And looking at it, I can see actually this season we might end up not cropping this land, and I might put a cover crop in. And a cover crop can be anything from stubble turnips that you'll then put in sheep over. Well, they're naturally fertilising the land as they do. Or you put the clovers in and that adds a bit of nitrogen. But the whole thing is to get the soil microbes all operating, earthworms there chomping on stuff, turning sort of dead matter back into soil, etc. So it's just keeping the heart in the soil. So it's a crop you're not actually going to combine, but at the end, before we start drilling next year, it will either be we'll top it off, or we'll just be able to cultivate it in, spray it off and cultivate it in. So that's a cover crop, a crop you're not going to harvest at the end of the year. Looking at the budgets, I think if we put a spring barley in, everybody's going to be putting spring barley, because I haven't seen the latest figures for winter wheat drilling, but I would expect we're probably about 50% of the predicted winter wheat that was expected to be drilled in 2019-20 has not been drilled. And we're all in this boat. Well, what do we plant? Do we try and get winter wheat in, or do we wait and put a spring barley in? I think there's going to be a rush for spring barley. I don't think there's going to be any profit at the end of it, because everybody's in it and it's a very easy market to oversupply. But if I put a cover crop in, then I'm then starting for the harvest, well, 21, so drilling in 2020, September, October 2020, putting a winter wheat in there, and then that becomes a first wheat because it's after a break crop. If I have a cover crop, that's what a oilseed rape or linseed is. So I end up with a first wheat, higher yielding wheat in 2021. So I might sort of sacrifice the 2020 harvest in the hope for a better 2021 harvest. And that's what farming's all about. You know, we've made a profit in 2019, we broke even in 2018. Before that we had 4 years of losses. And farming is unpredictable. You're challenging, you know, the conditions and the weather and what it throws at you. And you've got to take the long-term view. You try look at a 7-year average is what I'm looking for. So May 2020 isn't going to be the harvest we all hope for, but 2021 will be even better than I expect. Who knows? Anyway, so this is what's going on Harry's farm. I would like to have been a bit more positive. Let's hope January 2020 the sun comes out, we get those frosts, we get those lovely winter days, and it'll all dry out and all will be good. Thank you for watching and subscribing in your great numbers. It's greatly appreciated. If you want to tap on that notification thing as well, that'd be fantastic. I will be doing more videos come the new year, and let's hope the sun is shining then. Thanks for watching.